You're listening to the Goldnomics podcast, with new episodes every month on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Subscribe to stay informed. Hi there, and welcome to this very special episode of the Goldnomics podcast. And we have some exciting news today as we are launching a new program, a new service from GoldCore. And I'm here with Steve Flood, CEO of GoldCore, and with Mark O'Byrne, Director of Research. And this is something that the guys have been working on now solidly for the last months and practically the last year to bring this. And we're really excited about bringing it to you. And it's a new offering called Direct Access Gold. So, Steve, tell me, what exactly is Direct Access Gold?
Well, it's an evolution in every respect. Basically, we take an awful lot of feedback from our clients over the years, and when we're looking at how to safely store gold, we look at the motivations behind people who store gold, and what they tell us we listen to, and then we try and incorporate that into the products that we and the services we provide. So essentially what Direct Access Gold does is allows a client to present themselves at the vault where their metal and their safe haven asset is stored. It's already segregated and allocated as per our normal storage program. And what this storage program allows them to do is to present themselves and have that metal actually be given to them or directed by them to be moved to another vault or to another dealer or to be taken away themselves. And it's the reason we've put this in place is because we realize that we're in a world that is changing rapidly, and the old norms are no longer there in terms of geopolitical alliances. Nationalism is on the increase, populism is on the increase. We don't know where it's going to go in the next 5 to 10 years. So we've decided that we want to basically have a program that's very, very robust, very rigorous, and empowers the client to get access to their safe haven asset in almost every scenario that we can possibly think of. So that's really what Direct Access Gold is. It's really reducing the legal proximity between the client and their safe haven asset in extreme circumstances.
Right, awesome, brilliant. And Mark, tell me, how does this differ from your existing offering?
Well, as Stephen said, it is an evolution. We already pride ourselves on providing gold in the safest ways possible, and we have long specialized in providing allocated and segregated coins and bars. So we've always allowed our clients to own gold, have outright legal ownership of their gold, thereby reducing the counterparty exposure that they have to our company. So, and we do that with GoldCore Secure Storage. So this is very much building on that, based on feedback that we have had from many of our clients, particularly our more risk-averse clients and high net worth clients. And it's basically, it's an uncertain world, and we might talk about that briefly in terms of systemic risk and geopolitical risks. So there are these unknown unknowns, and this is an evolution in terms of really putting the client's interest at heart, and that's what we've been about since day one of our existence. Our mission statement was protecting and growing our clients' wealth, and this is another way that we are endeavoring to do that.
Okay, and tell me, how does this differ, say, from ETFs or, say, digital gold? Mark, maybe you answer that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's radically different because ETFs and digital gold, in effect, there's quite a degree of counterparty risk, and people don't appreciate the degree of counterparty risk that are in these forms of gold ownership. And basically, yeah, majority of the time you own gold in a pooled, allocated format. So you would not have outright legal ownership of your individual coins and bars. You would own a part of a very large bar along with many, many other investors. And you're very dependent on the provider of that gold, the digital gold platforms and their websites, or indeed the providers of the ETFs and the brokers and banks that sell them. So with us, we call it AAA rated. It's AAA rated gold. It's available, it's accessible, and it's actionable. And we think these are very fundamental things. And by available, we mean it's it's available to be accessed at any time. You can go, you can take delivery, you can go into the vaults, you can inspect it, or indeed you can move it. And that's why one of the great advantages of gold is that if you own coins and bars, it should be portable, so you can move it either to yourself, to your own family home, to your own office, or you can move it to a third-party provider, and that ensures that you have liquidity and you have pricing at all times, which is absolutely fundamentally important.
Brilliant. And you have a video on this. You've launched a video. That's what's happening today. You're launching the video behind Direct Access Gold as well. Maybe what we could do actually is just have a very quick look at that video. What do you think?
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go for it here.
Do you own gold in the safest way possible? Do you own gold via an exchange-traded fund or a digital gold provider, or another form of pooled gold? Did you know that only a tiny fraction of their gold holdings are effectively available for delivery in coin or bar format at any one time? Probably less than 1%. Rather than owning gold coins or bars outright, you may be part of a pool of investors who all have an interest in large 400-ounce bars of gold. If you're a holder of an ETF, you own a share in a fund that has an interest in a pool of gold bars. You most likely don't even have direct access to your gold. Investing always comes with a certain amount of risks, but owning gold in this way means that you are exposed to far more risks than you intended. You can only sell it back to the one provider that you bought it from. The company managing your gold may become compromised in some way, and you may become an unsecured creditor. You cannot take delivery of your gold if and when you need it, as it's not in individual coin or bar format, but commingled with all other investors' gold. And if we think about it, most investors buy gold as a way of reducing risk in their portfolio. So doing it in a way that increases risk doesn't make much sense.
At GoldCore, it is our mission to reduce as much risk as possible for our clients when they own precious metals, so that they can be confident that they own and hold gold and silver in the safest ways held in the most stable jurisdictions globally.
And as a result of our continuous focus on safety and security, and guided by our most discerning clients, we have developed Direct Access Gold, a first for the precious metals industry, an offering that provides direct access to your gold and increased access to potential buyers of your gold, all while maintaining the highest levels of safety and security.
Since 2003, GoldCore have been entrusted by over 16,000 private, pension and corporate clients in over 140 countries with the purchase, sale and most importantly the storage of your precious metals. We know gold investors, and we know gold investors like you want to have direct access to your gold and be able to take delivery of your gold if you wish, or move it from our safe storage to sell it to another potential buyer. Our Direct Access Gold program affords clients this flexibility, portability and liquidity. Here's how it works.
All gold held in GoldCore's Direct Access Gold program is fully allocated and segregated. What does this mean? When you purchase gold from an ETF or digital provider, it's pooled, so you own part of a larger bar and other investors own the other parts. Therefore, your gold cannot be separated or segregated from that of the other investors. When you own gold through GoldCore's Direct Access Gold program, you own individual coins and bars. And seeing as you own individual coins and bars, it is possible to separate or segregate your gold from all other gold owners in the program. Your gold is physically separated in our vault from all other client holdings, allowing it to be individually identified visually. You can visit and inspect your gold at our vault or via access to our storage provider's platform. This further allows you to instruct us to transfer, move, or ship your gold coins and bars to a location of your choice. Furthermore, should we become uncontactable or compromised, the Direct Access Gold Contingency Agreement is activated. This allows you, the client, direct access to your gold via the vault provider. We're very proud of this contingency agreement, as it massively reduces the risks to you, the client, and is an industry first in terms of direct access to your gold. So, all of your gold is fully allocated, all of your gold is fully segregated, and all of your gold is covered by the Direct Access Contingency Agreement. Direct Access Gold gives you the flexibility to sell your gold to another provider, rather than just the supplier you bought it from, giving you greater liquidity and ensuring competitive prices. It gives you the ability to take delivery or move your gold at any time, and it gives you the peace of mind that the company that is storing it for you has your best interests at heart and is continuously striving to reduce your risks.
We are so confident that you will benefit from our services that we will help to coordinate the conversion and transfer of your ETF or digital gold holdings into our Direct Access Gold program without cost to you.
So if you've invested in gold as a hedge against the uncertain, isn't it time that you ensure that you're owning and holding it in the safest way possible?
GoldCore's mission is simple: to ensure that our clients own and hold gold in the safest way possible, in the safest jurisdictions in the world, because we believe that to own gold is financial insurance. That financial insurance needs to be available, accessible, and actionable. So stop inviting more risk into your investment portfolio and instead own gold in the most safe and secure way. If you want to avoid these real risks of being unable to take delivery of your gold when you want, contact our team today to talk about Direct Access Gold. Listen to some leading gold experts and what they have to tell you about GoldCore and our Direct Access Gold program.
What I like about Direct Access Gold is that it entitles precious metals owners to buy, sell, move, or gain access to their gold and silver during a worst-case scenario. This is extremely important.
Not only lets your gold be allocated and segregated within their secure vaults, but they also let you have access to it at any time. Even if you can't contact your gold dealer or your broker, and this is for whatever reason, could be some sort of an electricity fault, it could be a problem with your website. This Direct Access Gold service from GoldCore lets you deal directly with the vault in Zurich, and you can instruct them at any time to sell, to move, to transfer your gold, or you can even go and collect it yourself if that's what you want to do. And really, when you think about it, this is a much better idea than trying to keep your gold under the bed or at the back of the closet.
GoldCore is a dynamic company. It's trying to get more people into gold. It's trying to increase global understanding of why gold is a good investment. And any means by which people can own gold in a cheap and secure way is ultimately a good thing. It's better for the market and it's better for people generally. And so that's why I welcome this product.
The question I'm often asked is, what do gold and silver owners know that others don't? And the fact is that all fiat currencies fail. I mean, once you make a commitment to gold and silver at some level, probably your deepest, innermost self, you realize the truth. And the truth is that a paper, debt-based monetary system fails, and the whole globe is on that system right now, and it's failing before our eyes. Yet very few people will take action ahead of time. Most people will realize after the event has taken place that they should have, could have, might have owned precious metals. And that's the way it's been throughout history, and we're seeing it play out again now.
Wow. Okay, that's brilliant, and some great names there at the end, endorsing both you and endorsing the product as well. This looks really exciting. But tell me, Steve, maybe you'll answer this question for me. Who is Direct Access Gold specifically for?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's I suppose it's for anybody who really has as part of their scenario analysis extreme political uncertainty. So if where they are resident, or where their dealer is resident, or where their bullion is resident has any set of risks that might compromise their legal right to take delivery of their gold, they need to have this program. They need to avail of this service. The reason being is because boundaries are changing. Trade agreements are changing. There's currency wars. There's hot wars. There's a whole suite of risks out there that can affect a customer and their asset base and their diversification strategy. So we think it's fine to have gold in an ETF if you want to speculate on the price of gold short term. It's a very, very good way of owning gold. But if you want to have gold as a hedge, you need to have it in physical proximity to you. And going through a dealer, they may represent the risk. Where are they located? What are the rules? What are the government that they are operate under? And what's happening with that jurisdiction? So what we've done is we've basically short-circuited that traditional route, that custodial route, and allowed you, the client, to go and present yourself to the vault directly and then direct that gold anywhere you want, because it's your gold, it's your asset. It's not on the dealer's balance sheet, or it shouldn't be at least. And so if it's segregated and allocated, it's correctly stored. Now you can actually go there and actually have it directed. And this is it's a contingency plan for the unknowns that are out there. We don't know exactly how they're going to manifest. We don't know in what order they're going to happen. Nobody does, and they probably are unlikely going to happen. But you should have some portion of your gold, especially if you're a high net worth individual with assets across the world. You should have some portion of your gold in the safest way possible, and direct access gold gives you access to that program. And it doesn't rely necessarily on the technological backbone of modern commerce. So it's a contract. You can present yourself there and show that contract and gain access to your gold. And that is as safe as we can possibly make it.
And Mark, why now? Why is now the right time for this evolution in your services? Why is now the right time for direct access gold?
Well, I suppose risk in the world, arguably, it's never been higher today. And we have financial risk, monetary risk, systemic risk, geopolitical risk. And, many analysts around the world are highlighting these serious risks that are there today. And they pose real risk to investors and to people who are trying to own gold in the safest way possible. So gold is a hedge. It's a safe haven asset. It's a form of insurance if owned in the right way. And we fundamentally believe that it's insurance gold in effect that we're selling. And you only own insurance gold if you have this outright legal ownership, and you have these protections in place whereby you have that the utility of that gold, the value of gold, whereby you can sell it wherever you want, whenever you want.
So what risks are we looking at today, though, that are different to what we've seen before?
Well, I mean, many of these risks are ever present, but they sort of they recede and they rise. But the financial risks, the macroeconomic risks, these risks are with us throughout history, and we had bubbles, a lot of bubbles in recent years, and lots of crashes. But we do believe that today the bubbles are in many ways even bigger than previous bubbles. We saw bubbles in 2000, 2007, and today we have an everything bubble whereby assets around the world are at all-time record highs based on this huge sea of liquidity that's come in from our debt-based monetary system. And we think there's a massive bubble in that fiat currency system as well that is very vulnerable, and we're seeing currency devaluations around the world. But potentially a new risk is actually digital risk and tech risk. And we think, as a species, we're embracing all things tech, and it's wonderful and it's great, and it's great advantages to us and to humanity. But there's also hidden risks that people aren't appreciating. And we think potentially the new case for gold is cyber risk, digital risk, the risks that platforms and these new quite sexy digital gold platforms, they can be hacked. There's issues in terms of systemic risk, in terms of the electricity grid goes down, the internet shutdowns. They happen much more frequently than people realize around the world, and the global internet itself, there are vulnerabilities there. Not huge vulnerabilities, but there are vulnerabilities there. So it's important to be cognizant of these risks, and gold is a form of insurance. Therefore, you need to own it the safest way possible, and you need to ensure that you have that liquidity and pricing, because some of these providers could ultimately be bought out by private equity, by banks, and then your pricing, your liquidity can actually change quite dramatically. So you're very, very dependent on these providers, much more dependent than people realize, both for, as I said, liquidity liquidity and pricing. Whereas with us, you have the utility of being able to move your gold, and that's what we mean by it's actionable, and that ability is very, very important indeed.
That's a really interesting point there Mark made. Essentially, when you look at risk, you have to look at liquidity risk. And that comes in many different facets. Essentially, liquidity risk could be in terms of the price that you pay, the spot price that's given. It could be the cost or the premium that you're going to receive or be charged, and also the ability to take delivery or direct your gold. Many of the most popular markets out there, non-ETF, I'm talking about digital gold providers, you actually have to rely upon their system, their marketplace, their bots, whatever way they've configured their system in order to get that liquidity. And the idea of actually directing your gold to another dealer because you're not satisfied with the price is quite difficult in reality to achieve. In order to extract your gold, you have to go through an awful lot of steps. Those platforms could be open to being purchased by private equity. You don't know if the prices of those services are going to increase or what the future holds. So we think that it's very important that you not only own physical gold and it's segregated, allocated, and not pooled, which many of these providers actually offer. They might call it undivided or some other terminology, and they say it's a pooled, unallocated metal. But essentially, you own a bar with 1,000 other investors, and so extracting yourself from that is quite difficult to do without paying exorbitant fees and charges. So being able to direct it and then and choose where you want to place your business is very, very important. So don't be just rely on one single market provider.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. And it's not just those digital gold providers, the traditional ones that have come around in recent years. There's also blockchain gold is very, very sexy indeed. And everyone's talking about the blockchain, and it's wonderful, and we're fundamental believers in the blockchain. But again, people are trying to put gold in the blockchain and make it digital and low cost. But there are very, very unappreciated risks, as Stephen just said there, in terms of while it's very cheap now and it could be low cost or zero cost right now, that can change fundamentally. And you are absolutely dependent on their terms and conditions, and they can change that pricing overnight.
Yeah, if some of those zero cost providers, I think that it's very interesting what they're providing, and it's very attractive from an investor's point of view. But if you actually look at the business models that they have, they are fundamentally flawed. Essentially, if you were to place a 10 ounce or 10 kilo order with a zero cost provider, they are storing it for you, and they're insuring it for you and guarding it and going through all those audit checks that you should have. But they're also paying insurance costs. And if the price of gold goes from $1,200 to $2,400 or $3,600 in the future, their costs go up, and yet you're not paying for anything. So if you don't know what you're paying, you certainly don't know what you're getting. And so it's very important that you pay for storage that is fit for purpose and will ensure you and your family's wealth in times of uncertainty. So don't always go for the cheapest option, go with the best quality option, and always have the most utility. That is to say that you can actually do the most things and direct your gold in the most ways that suit your strategy going forward.
Brilliant. And tell me, Steve, if people want to find out more about direct access gold, what do they need to do?
Well, it's very straightforward. You go on our website, goldcore.com, and you can email us at support@goldcore.com or phone us at our offices, and we'll step you through the process. We offer strategy sessions with all our new clients. We try to understand exactly what they want to achieve and what timeline they're working with, and we give them a whole suite of different options in terms of what format of product to have, whether they go for gold and silver or gold or silver. And then we also step them through all the places that they can store. So we only store in very safe jurisdictions with non-bank vaults, and everything is segregated, allocated. So we go through those options with them, and we build a trade plan for them that suits their purposes.
Brilliant. And what we'll do, if we can, depending upon what platform you're watching this on, is we'll put a link to the page on the GoldCore website for direct access gold here in the video. Otherwise, we'll put it down in a link in the description if we're in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And I really want to say I'm very excited to see more about this product. And well done to both of you. I mean, this has been the culmination of a long period of time working on this. It seems like just the right product for just the right time now with direct access gold. And it just remains for me to say Thank you to Mark and to Steve for this special episode of the Goldnomics podcast. And to remind everybody to subscribe to the Goldnomics podcast on iTunes, on YouTube, on SoundCloud. If you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you can be updated with every time that we release a video. You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, and you can stay up to date with all precious metals news on goldcore.com by signing up for our market update. But for now, and from Mark, Steve, and me in Direct Access Gold, thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Dave.